Hey guys, I'm sorry about the last video that was so dark. I really didn't want to re-record it after I saw that it had come out so dark. So I'm sorry if it's a little too dark. So I'm changing up the setup a little bit here. I'm just gonna hold my phone uh, as stationary as I can while I show this stuff. So as a reminder, this is all autographed cards, vintage postcards, etc., all kinds of stuff. Um, so let me start with number 10. This is a postcard from 1975, autographed by both Hank and Ralph Kiner. There are many stories about how Hank was a mentor to Ralph Kiner, and he believed that Ralph Kiner could be one of the greatest right-handed power hitters of all time. Coming from Hank, it's a pretty huge compliment. His postcard's really nice, and both autographs are in blue Sharpie, and I really like this piece, and it has a lot of history behind it, at least for the players that autographed it. Unfortunately, both have passed, but very cool card there. The next one is a gift that Mr. Michael Shane gave to me a couple years back, actually a few years ago now. This is a 1977 Jim Rowe 4-in-1, modeled after the popular 4-in-1 exhibits in the 30s and 20s and 30s. This features four Tigers, the two that were probably alive to sign this thing. Signed it there, Hank and Charlie Gehringer, who, in my opinion, has one of the most beautiful autographs around. I happen to like this version of Hank's autograph. It's a little like condensed, and it's interesting because I've just never seen this before on his, but I have. Well, I've seen it before, but I don't have another version like this on a 35 Gaudi 4-in-1. So same kind of setup that he had to kind of condense and write a little more, just write smaller. The next one here is a really nice exhibit card that he signed from between 39 and 46. That's at least when the card came out. I can't speak to when the autograph was actually signed. But it's a really nice, like, bold ink pen autograph, kind of like a Sharpie, I would say. I'm not sure, again, when this was signed, but postcard's in kind of rough shape, but I don't really mind. I just really got this for the autograph. I love autograph vintage. It's kind of one of my things, and I got this slab via SGC, which always does a good job of slabbing these big things. The next piece I showed in my last, well, not last video, but a couple of videos ago. This is a little big, so I got back up here. This is the Sports Exchange, and it's a nice vintage autograph of Hank there. As you can see, the way that he looped the end of his G changed. As you can see, it's sort of loops up there, and it loops to the side there. He also quotated it himself, Hank, and he always circled his eyes, which I find really funny. Not quite sure why he did that, but I've got a lot of like best wishes and things like that in my autograph collection, and he always circles his eyes, which I find really, really funny. This is a really cool thing. I was hoping that this was written by him, but I don't believe that it is. But I really got it for this. And I have another one of these Sports Exchange cards that is blank here, and of course doesn't have an autograph, but I really couldn't pass this up, and it's certified. There's the cert. It's another card, because I don't have enough of these big fuckers to put them in. So that's a really cool piece here. Now we're getting into the signed vintage a bit. This is a trimmed 1941 play ball card. I bought this from a collector from Net54 who has a ton of Greenberg autographs that he just won't sell me. And a lot of them are on vintage cards that I've just never seen autographed before. And it's a shame that he's a little restraining of his collection, because he sells some things, keeps others, but listen, they're his stuff. I can't force him to sell it to me. autograph is really nice. Right at the bottom there, I think he signed it in a really good spot. Um, and I've seen a few other 41 play balls come, well, not come to my collection, but come up for auction before, and some of them don't look alright because he signs it kind of like close to his feet, um, like closer down to the where his name is and where that dirt would be on the bottom. So um, it's a really nice example though. And one day I think I would upgrade if the right item came around. Um, but I'm in no rush to. I love this card just as much as if it were not altered. This is a more modern card. Just a beautiful autograph here on this one. This is a original 1983 Donruss Hall of Fame Heroes, which is a very common set to have signed. But Donruss bought this card, stamped it somewhere. If I could find... Oh, it's right there. They stamped it there and numbered it 2 of 8. I was very confident in this autograph, and I had SGC grade the auto a 10, which is really, really cool. A lot of these Hall of Fame heroes smudged. I guess, well, he signed these at least in 83, so this was about 3 years before he died. So I'm not sure really, why he had a tendency to smudge autographs, but I avoid them at all costs if I can help it. So I really love this auto. It's super, super nice. You can really consider this like an end-of-life version of his autograph, but it, hadn't changed, I don't believe, really since the 70s. You can really compare the two here. A lot of similarities, although the Greenberg on the play ball looks a little longer in length than the Greenberg on the Hall of Fame heroes. This next piece is definitely one of my favorites in my collection. This is a 1936 R312 pastel. Now, the color on this card is super vibrant, and the camera's just not really picking it up, unfortunately. This is one of my favorite vintage issues ever. This is JSA certified. This was originally in, I believe it was a frame, and the collector took it out and sold it to me. I met him actually in Long Island, and I'm so happy to have this piece because this is one of my favorite vintage issues, and to have it signed is just so cool. You can see that his G changed a little bit from here to here. He made it a little longer at the end. And the loop in his Hank is a little more closed than it was there. It just looked a little different. I'm not sure when he signed this, but I am sure when he signed this. This is such a cool autograph. This is when he served, so we can date this around back to the 40s. As you can see, the end of his G changed here, and you'll see in a couple others that I'm about to show how his autograph changed as well. But this is the only Captain Hank Greenberg autograph that I have. There's also a Sergeant Hank Greenberg autograph that he would sign during his time in the war. But I don't have one of those, and I believe Mr. Michael would have one. So if he would be so kind as to share his, that would be super cool. As you could see, he again circled his I there and put his name in quotation marks, so you can see it here too, to Maria. It looks like a Marie. Such a beautiful pen autograph there. It's a fountain pen, so you can see the widths of the Y and the width of the G change. What a cool piece this is. And I think I only bought this for about $100. This autograph is not expensive, but on some pieces they can be, depending on really how rare they are. I thought I got a fantastic deal on this Captain Hank autograph, because they really just don't make themselves available often whatsoever. The next two cards here are 2 play balls. So I've got a full run of signed play balls, which is really, really cool. This is a 1939 play ball auto, or 39 play ball card with a green auto. And This is auto graded 8. I bought this as it is. I did not ask SGC to grade the auto, but it's cool that they did. I don't mind that's an 8 auto. I think that's really the reason why here, because the G kind of runs off. Not runs off the card, but it kind of is a little lighter than the rest of the autograph. I also don't know why this card got only a 3. Maybe it's like that right there on this border, but such a cool card. And I had to really bargain with, well, not bargain, but negotiate hard with the seller of this card. And the card changed hands actually quite a few times within the past few years, and it's going to stay with me for quite some time. Such a cool autograph there. Really love this one, and it just is placed so perfectly on the card because you can see it all, and it will stay with me forever. So that was 9, or that was number 2. Number 1, if you have watched my videos, you know about what's coming. This is a card that I bought in the only heritage auction I've ever bid on, but damn, it is worth it, and this is the most amazing autograph I've ever seen on a card, and Michael has its cousin. This is a 1940 play ball with a beautiful period vintage autograph there. He really took his time to sign this with what looks to be a ballpoint, and I don't have another autograph in my collection that looks quite like that. The card also is pretty spectacular, in very nice condition. Not as nice as the X Mint that I have at SGC now, but this card is pretty fantastic. Michael has the 39 play ball version of this. He actually, I think, has 2 or 3 signed 39 play ball cards, and they're all pretty awesome in their own way. Again, another look at this beautiful vintage autograph. He really took his time to sign that, and he quoted the Hank there, you could see, and the G loop at the end is pretty unique. Just an amazing card to look at, and he signed it in a great place too. I mean, you couldn't really go wrong with placing an autograph on this card, but damn, I just love looking at it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That's all the top 10s that I have. The next video you will see from me will probably be later this week. I want to talk about a couple things from the National that I didn't get a chance to touch on in my National recap video, and then after that I will probably have 34 Gaudy signed card that I will be showing off and taking to the East Coast National next Friday to get slabbed. Thank you so much for watching. All my shit, more shit in that box, more shit. Thank you for watching, guys.